Alright, we'll do it live. So, this is a replay of me and Toxic Panda playing a pub. I keep doing this wrong. I wanna cover up the time. I wanna cover up the time before the match starts. Okay, so we've got Nova Scotia. There's gonna be some naughty words in the chat here because we have some players known to use naughty words. We have Nova Scotia, Dvornik on top right. We've got Slayer, not quite sure which Slayer that is. Slayer and Megavirus. Now, I will say this. He has no elo, so he might be intentionally throwing the game. People have been following me around and trying to intentionally throw games. And then we got, as our diagonal, Exodial and Bend a Knee. So, you'll notice already that this is kind of a stack game. So what have we got going on here? We're 0 seconds in. I'm going to go to... just look at everyone playing here. So if you notice, me and Toxic are going straight for mid. Take a look at the upgrades. It's probably going to be like... we're probably going to get some combination of 1 speed and 1 move. Everybody else, we're making a beeline to mid. Everyone else is kind of not really playing that much. Bend a Knee is being our best competition right now. He's here. It's 15 seconds in the game, and only 4 players have made an action so far. Bend a Knee goes straight to mid. That's unfortunate for him because he's got Exodial as his teammate. Exodial is going to send his units here. So, my first thing I would say about this is that it's not a good idea to have your units do nothing. So, it's 20 seconds into the game. 4 people were not prepared to begin playing when the game started. Exodial is here, but his units are, even though he's playing, his units aren't doing anything, and he's already decided to load up units into his bunker before it's even a possibility that a unit would have arrived at his bunker. I don't know how long it takes. Maybe it's it's not reasonable to assume that someone is going after you at this early point, if you're assuming that the players you're playing against are good. Anyway, let's just keep chugging along here. I'm going to hang out in the corner. Toxic's going to be moving around. Basically, the goal in the beginning is to secure mid here. I'm not quite sure. We're kind of poking around the mid tower. We even got vision. We know that there's only one person in mid. We'll probably both push him out because there's nothing else to do. Or not. But like, here's the thing. You got to be careful with this because this is our diagonal. Even though he's only one player and this is a pub, and you know you got to do what you got to do to get ahead. Trading with your diagonal, even if you get him in a 2v1 situation and completely wipe him, that's guaranteeing later on that you're going to get at least one of you is going to get double teamed at some point. So, at the only reason I didn't push him out was because I didn't look at who was in the lobby. Okay. So I wasn't sure if there was more than one good player. It's reasonable. Like, I would say the right play is to not attack him, regardless of who's in the lobby. I wouldn't go trading with him this early. Though, I mean, it could work out in these situations, but This is assuming that you have players who are able to make up the difference, I guess. But this is a pub, so I'm not gonna say that we're gonna learn a whole lot from this match, but this is for fun. So blue, which is Dvornik, is going straight to attack Exodio. Now Dvornik, how do you say that? Dvornik has no HP regen, and you'll notice, well, we're not going to see because neither of these players got HP regen, but I will tell you this. Even 1 HP regen versus 0 is not a joke. You are getting free health with that. And you're basically giving it away if you don't get at least, like, I would recommend at least 3. At, like, the bare minimum. So, I mean, at this point, so what we're doing here is, okay, we notice that nothing is happening. There's nothing going on from bottom left. And then there's nothing coming out happening from top right. So we're just going to make things happen. So what I do in this situation, let's just look at it from our perspective. And I'm going to back up before I know what green is doing. Teal's going in the mid. He backs off. We see him continue to back off. So, I didn't really think of this at the time, but if Teal is playing, he's going to do one of two things. He's going to make the right decision, and he's going to camp out right here. Make sure I know he's there. Or he's going to go lane. Now, if he sits here, I'm stuck in mid. Well, not necessarily. It's not been established if we know we have a friendly diagonal or not, but I would just hang out here and keep poking and waiting for mid to open up. And be there just in case my diagonal needs help with controlling mid. But he goes down here. It's kind of this is more of a laning kind of move. So that's just like a weird deduction that I don't think really matters a whole lot. Me and Toxic did 2 different things, and I'm gonna explain why I prefer the way I did it. It's kind of a big brain sort of stupid move, but Toxic's going to go straight for Teal's bunker. I mean, the dude's AFK. He's probably gonna, he's doing what he can. I don't know like what the rationale behind it is, but you wanna start activating players. If they see you, they might start playing. You never know. So you want to see what they're doing. Teal is, I think that looks like an attack move. But what I want to do, my goal here is, okay, so nothing's happening here, right? This fight is ultimately going to be against my diagonal. Almost every time. The final 2v2 is going to be against my diagonal. Now, I have mid control, so I have an option here. I can go and try and feed and get 2v2'd, or I can I've had this big brain fucking realization about this. So you go mid, make sure if your bunker's not under threat, you can threaten mid. If you're not, and if mid is open, you can fight for mid. If you control mid, you can take the corner. If no pressure is coming here and there's not a cut to happen, you can cut here. And you might think that's kind of counterintuitive, but if you're allowed to go this far, if you're comfortable going this far, it means that you have more supply than the 3 players combined. Or at least the 2 players combined, and you can run away. And you'll probably make money even if you have an uncooperative diagonal. So my rationale here is I will cut here and fuck over who has taken more ground. I want to reset this lane, basically. And what that also does, it keeps both players from trading, and it allows me to get ahead. So if I'm keeping my diagonal from trading while laning, I'm basically punishing him for laning, and I can cut him off or I can cut his lane off. Either way, I'm taking feed away from my diagonal. He's still going to be in second place, or I'm going to take first place from him by doing this. And I'm just going to keep on poking, man. Like, if nothing's happening here, I would prefer not to get fed. I would prefer to control the pace of the match by doing this. So I'm going to keep threatening to cut off my diagonal. He's going to keep backing off. I'm going to make sure that Teal is going to be where he needs to be. If he doesn't respond to this correctly, he gets cut off and he loses all of his units. Or he has to realize that I'm getting cut off. I have to give up the space. I'm going to back off. And then he's going to think, I keep getting cut from mid. I'm going to threaten mid. You keep referring to light green as teal. Yeah, I know. I keep doing that, man. I get them mixed up, and it's just gonna keep happening. I will make an effort not to do that. But bear with me, please. I apologize. So this also, I've established mid. This baits him the mid. And if these two players activate and I start getting cut here, I retreat to mid. And then I give up whatever space I have to. If I can engage him in mid, I will. My lane. I'll engage him here if I can. Or I will threaten the cut and force him to back off. Forcing him back here, then he has to go to mid. Or he gets cut off and he gets denied any feed. But in this situation, light pink and pink aren't playing. So I can take this fight for now. I don't want to get greedy with this. And here's the thing. Light green notices my ally is under threat. Right? My ally is under threat from mid. He keeps getting cut. So he thinks, okay, he might not necessarily understand that, okay, mid is where I should be at. But I'm forcing him to go there. Or if he doesn't, I beat up on his teammate. Either way is good for me. Either I get my diagonal to go into the middle of the map, or I get them to feed me, which is great. And if I can force my diagonal to feed me, that means I wouldn't consider it at that point necessarily. It just depends on the situation. Like here, they're not playing. This is where I'm deciding to get my feed. Because another thing is, if it's a noob lobby like this, I have to control the pace of the match. And I have to do everything I can do to guarantee that I'm going to outfeed my diagonal. Or in some cases, just whoever is my closest, or whoever's going to contest the win from me. It should almost always be our diagonal, but sometimes it's not. And in this game, I think the scoreboard was kind of funky. So this puts light green and green where I want them. And then they back off. So light green's going to be in mid, and if he backs off, I'm going to keep poking. Or in this case, I'm getting cut. So here's an issue I had here with Panda. He went to lane, and then if you look at our, like, okay, so he traded, he got 160 minerals. That means he took out fucking math 16 30. He took out 32 units at the cost of 18 units. I don't know, pretty decent trade. But now here's the thing, he aggroed blue to come towards him, and then at this point you see this is starting to look like a bad situation for him. His units are at low health. He should probably back off from this engagement and let his HP regen do its job. Now, I got the sick cut on pink, right? And this is a really good cut, but I took it this far deep, and I possibly lost units. I'm going to have less supply than him right now, even though it's right here. So I almost got really fucked here. Toxic's, he should have backed up this way, allowed his units to regenerate instead of losing units in this engagement. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to split my army because I'm like, oh shit. Okay, Toxic's got to come over here. If he comes over here, this is going to be a fucking this will be a really good engagement for us. If light blue follows, I mean, we're kind of fucked. But he's kind of fucked here too. But the further away you get, the further you get into this area, the more likely he's going to back up, and the more he definitely should be backing up. I'm gonna do this. I split my units, maybe not perfectly. I would have preferred to have these units back here and have all of my units begin to engage at the same time. I was trading with teal before you got cut, if I remember correctly. That's the thing, like, you went out of your way to go here and isolate yourself from me. And then you traded, and you opted to take a head-on engagement where we can't, like, outmaneuver our opponents and force a situation where we vastly outnumber his units. Which puts us here where you just, instead of, like, you've lost about 25 supply here. At this point, you need to back off and help me, like, because, I definitely set this up poorly. I probably didn't have enough upgrades, so I almost lose this battle, so that's partially my fault, but there's things that my ally could have done to help me, and he did. I just feel like it could have been more effective if the response was quicker. So here's, like, my goal here is, okay, I just cut the guy. We're even on supply. I have to do my best to get the better split to win this engagement. And I kind of did, but it wasn't a good split in the beginning. So I'm really feeling the pressure here. I feel like I'm definitely going to lose this engagement, especially if he stutters in. Or at least it felt that way at the time. But okay, so here, say you're cutting your lane here, like I did here, and you're outnumbered, and your ally has to come help you. I made a decision, a conscious decision, to put this conflict off as long as I can. And this is going to help me a lot because my lane didn't get HP regen. My units are recovering health while I run. They're also getting shot at, but I'm giving my ally time to get where he needs to be to help me, so that I can take the engagement once we outnumber him. So I still kind of fucked up here, but Toxic comes and saves the day. And then I immediately pivot back to mid. So that was probably Mega Virus. So I guess Mega Virus is a laner because that's his playstyle, because he lanes or something. I don't know. But I think the biggest thing there was I could have thrown 1 or 2 upgrades into attack and armor. It's just I prefer early on to get my HP regen and my move speed first, so that I can take engagements, get out of engagements, and recover health and take more. I think you should rewind to see the setup behind it. So Toxic opts to take this engagement, or he sets up an engagement, right? This is against Nova Scotia? Or is it... Okay, it's Nova Scotia. Basically, he gets impatient. So we kind of posture each other in mid. Light Green gives it up. And my lane's not playing. My lane's not doing anything. Nobody's pressuring mid. So I want to control the pace of the match on this side. I'm going to waste this guy's time. Okay, I'm wasting his time. Light Pink is on the way. Now, at the same time, Toxic Panda, he's over here. He splits his army a little bit. He sets up a concave. He's kind of doing a little bit of moving around. I think he's going to take this engagement. Maybe not. This is going to be unfortunate. Because, number one, he's closer to the guy's spawn. He's already going to have a better concave, so he backs off. What he's going to have to do, he's making the decision, I'm not going to fight with this clump of my army yet. And he's probably going to send these units up. Maybe not. But basically what he wants to do is set up a really good concave. And he wants all of his units fighting at once. But Teal doesn't accept the fight. He goes back. Toxic goes back to mid. Nothing's going on. We see mid. I'm wasting the dude's time. He's got at this point, this is a pretty nice concave. If he plays it out right. He wants everything he wants his surround to happen before the other guys, basically. I think he should have took that here. But what I would do is I would attack move with this flank, or with this group over here. And as soon as those start engaging with those. But he takes it all at once. Still, same thing. Way better concave. He's got 1 regen, 2 speed, versus this guy who has 1 attack, or 1 armor, 2 attack, 2 speed. So he's guaranteed to win this. But here's the thing. He's on his... This is his opponent's side of the map. Blue is here now. Blue hasn't been activated yet. He doesn't know this. he has no information about what's going on. I mean, he has some information. He doesn't see any activity going on here prior, but he doesn't know what is green doing. What is blue doing? Are they laning? Well, they could be getting close to each other, or I mean, there's 0 score, so maybe he knows from that, or can deduce from that there's no activity. But that also means that blue is on full supply and he's basically freed up. So blue's gonna come and attack Panda, who is very close. It's a very short response time from here to here. It's a much longer response time from here to here. So we can't help each other in an expedient manner, and we can't force really good engagements. We can get good engagements if we can catch a guy laning and playing solo. We can get good engagements that way, but we can't get like 50 supply for 15 supply engagements. So at some point I realize this is happening. Blue's getting double team, or Panda's getting double teamed, so he's got to back off. Basically what he's going to do is he's going to wait for blue to say, fuck it, I'm going to go do something else, I don't want to chase. Or I'm going to go for mid. And he sees, Toxic sees him going to mid. This is not a good position. This is telltale sign. You got to back off if you're losing mid and you have no claim to it. It's either go here. He either has to go here and we take a stand for mid, but that's not going to work because I'm getting cut right now. So basically what Panda did was he baited 2 armies to himself, and if they want to follow, they just might. And then, I mean, I'm really fucking up here with my micro. Things aren't happening quite the way I want them to. He's got better upgrades. He's got better concave. He had more units fighting before me. This is gonna probably end badly for me. Plus, I'm closer to his spawn. Like, I'm expecting and I need my ally to help me. And Toxic notices. He gets me out. Toxic's back in his territory. And Light Blue and Blue have decided to take mid instead. Which is, you know, a reasonable thing to do. But they're not going to keep it. They're just not going to keep it because this guy is a laner because he lanes, because that's his playstyle, because he lanes. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm a little stuffed up today. So we get this really good engagement. We share the loot. Not gonna waste our time chasing him. He's gonna come back anyway. He's already demonstrated that he lanes. So he'll come back. Our next priority is we're not getting cut. Our bunker's not under threat, so we're gonna take our corner. We're a bit outnumbered here. We don't have the best concave. We might as well just give it up and save our supply. I remember, I think Toxic did ping here for me to back off. I was just trying to hold the flank for him so he could back off. I don't know. I don't remember the rationale behind that, but it's ideal if we both retreat at the same time so one person isn't taking more damage than they need to. And then Megavirus is laning again, so he's gonna come back. He's in my territory now. He may have more supply, but he has less supply over here. He probably outnumbers me. My best move here is I have some. It looks like I have a lot of units, but my units are low health. I need them to get health back. And he's caught me in a bad position, so I'm going to back up. I'm going to let Toxic come over and fill in the holes. What's up, GG man? And then Mega Virus backs off and he doesn't make any money. So I'm curious. I want to take a look at Pink, see exactly where all of his money has come from so far. It was fighting me, right? Me and Toxic have shared the loot. Light green and green are in second. So this is weird. It's the sides are the first and second team right now. No. Bottom right, bottom left, and bot right. So the bottom two teams are in first place right now. That's fucking weird. That really shouldn't happen. So we're watching a weird lobby. Quite possibly here. So, okay, so let's look at some other things that happen. We don't need to concentrate on me entirely. We don't need to concentrate on me and Panda entirely. So this is a weird thing happening. Light green has chosen the lane. It's because I was first, second place for most of the early game, while you were in last, or you were near last, which is why our team score was third place. Okay, let's see why. Light green is he doesn't have any information, right? He doesn't know what's going on. He's kind of guessing like, okay, light pink is probably here. I don't know if he's thinking about it like that. He's gonna, okay, oh look, I got look at that, it's light pink. Well, okay, light pink is right here. Light pink is right here, so, I mean, our army should fight. Well, fuck it. Let's fight. Now, here's the problem. He is sandwiched between his opponent's bunker and his opponent's army. His ally is currently in an engagement of equal supply, so no help is coming. And he's got the same amount of supply as the person he's fighting. And they're about the same. So this is an engagement with no micro. I'm probably not microing their units at all. Alright, his units are fanning out. Some of them are attacking the bunker. Units keep spawning over here, so every second or so, light pink gets an extra unit to fight with. Overall, a pretty one-sided engagement. Except he did trade pretty well. He did trade pretty well because neither of them microed. Light pink's got 250. Bend a knee lost 8 extra units in that engagement, I want to say. And while that happened, let's look at mid. Exodial takes a fight. Decides he decides it's not going well. He backs off. Why are you analyzing these kids? Because no one has sent me a better replay. They shit. Go play a game. I want to make a video. That's why I'm doing it. And Toxic said, just do this one. So we're just going to do this one. If we had a better replay, I would do that. If you guys want to send me a better replay, probably not going to get to it today. I take a long time to analyze replays. But definitely if you want me to see see me do something else, then can you do the one you nuked me? Okay, I'm gonna let you guys know. Just kind of keep track of the color of your ally and don't nuke him, thinking that he's the enemy. I mean, if you want to send me the replay, that was actually a pretty decent game. I don't know. Anyway, so I mean, basically, green should have. My suggestion would be, light green got himself in this terrible mess. Green should have come and helped him. Okay, so pink is being really stubborn, and he's just laning because that's his playstyle. Because laning is his playstyle. Because he lanes. He's just gonna keep on laning. For whatever reason, you know, the reason they're in first place right now is because they have taken engagements. And it looks like pink is a little bit ahead in supply. So I guess knowing this, we have to be a little more conscious and get our supply up. If we know that the guy is going to lane. But we're on our side of the map. He's laning. We have more supply than him here. So it's not too big of an issue. So he's just going to have to keep poking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So my next priority is, okay, let's see what's going on in mid. Our diagonal might actually be good and might actually be trying to get in there or applying pressure. At some point, light blue is going to have to be somewhere else. So I'm just going to keep poking forward and back and doing a little bit of scouting, see if I can get in there. Looks like pink is finally doing his part in going to mid. So that backs teal out. I don't want to fight pink here. Get out of there. He's at full supply right now. He just took out some of Teal's army, which actually took some money away from Panda. But I mean, Teal shouldn't be in this position. Blue should be here supporting, and Teal should have, like, yes. Teal should have not have gotten himself in such a terrible engagement. So I want to see what was that engagement that happened. Light blue, both of the blues are in mid. Pink is laning. We're gonna back off. We're gonna consolidate our forces. We're gonna scare pink off. And then once pink's running away, we're going to turn around and we're going to immediately pressure mid. Now we're pressuring mid. This actually causes Teal to be pinned here. He can't give up this position yet. Or he can't give up this position without me following him. Or jumping in. Because I think I might have had more supply than him. But regardless, this keeps him where he's at. And Toxic actually decides he's going to do what, it's kind of an undercut, and it normally is not that great of a maneuver, but I mean it works when people let you do stuff like this. So Toxic's gonna stutter into his supply. I'm not even gonna notice what blue is doing. Now I'm jumping in. Pink kicks me out. Blue. Okay, so this is what Teal could have done. He could have retreated this way. and it would have preserved his supply. It would have got him closer to his ally. This is the space that is less dangerous right now, so they can use that to save their supply. That's kind of the same thing that I'm doing here when I'm retreating. I'm not going straight to my bunker. I'm going to whatever gets... I'm clicking over here because it causes all of my units to move away from his army, not into. If I had went this way, I'd be colliding with the range of his units. So we consolidate. Blue's going back. Blue's gonna... he's probably thinking about attacking his lane. Okay, Blue's found an engagement, so he's going to take that, and he's got a really good concave. But what's happening here? Teal is getting cut, and as soon as Yellow backs off, he's going to go back and he's going to follow him. That's not an unreasonable thing to do to keep your lane occupied in some way. But the thing is, he's doing it in the wrong direction. He's going to want to go this way because mid is compromised at this point. This space is controlled by... or pink is threatening this space here. I'm threatening this space here. And I'm definitely going to prioritize defending my teammate. So pink, he's given up mid. He sees this and he wants to get the surround, possibly. And if I wasn't here and he was microing, he could have possibly got a decent engagement here. I don't think he would have won it, but okay, so pink's backing me out. I would have come and went straight for teal, but that's going to slow me down and feed units to pink. So pink decides to attack teal, which is going to take away that much supply, that much pressure in supply from mid for him. But those units were going to die anyway, so who cares? So pink has now decided that he's going to threaten this lane. They have mid control now. Blue, I want to see how that engagement over here went. He got a really good surround. Green recognized it and backed off. So with the information that we have, this is a pretty good engagement we're about to take. Virus has himself surrounded. We're keeping up the pressure. It turns out that our diagonal was actually playing, and we did our part in pressuring mid. So this, if we had just, backed off and been like, okay, that was enough, that would have freed up pink to come over here and double team this corner. Not to say that pink isn't already going to win this engagement, but they would get a lot better of an engagement out of this with double the supply, and would have had mid completely uncontested. So here, pink is occupied. Our lane, our diagonal is doing their part in pressuring mid. That allows us to safely double team Megavirus out of mid. We're just going to keep bullying them out because pink decided to give up that space. Even though they have more supply, he backed out. It's our space now. At least I think that's what happened. Let's look again. Light green pressuring mid. Light pink decides that he's going to take the corner. Good idea. He's got his units are his units are more spread out for this engagement. No units are firing versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy must have attack moved, or move clicked into that. We're bullying Virus out of mid. So Light Pink made a mistake here. Light Green is running. Now, if we assume that Light Green is a very good player, then Light Green is gonna follow what Light Pink does. So in this situation, no more pressure. Okay, that frees me up. I'm gonna back up. I'm not gonna give up mid quite yet. I'm gonna see what I can do. I would more do a bluff. I would go back into mid, and that would at least buy me time. So if I go up here, Light Green can't see into mid. So I'm right here, and then I have more combined. We have more supply than Toxic and Underscore. That causes Toxic and Underscore to back off. We're not going to take an engagement where he has more supply on us in the engagement. But what ends up happening is Pink decides to pursue. He's given up his claim to mid, and he's allowing his teammate to get bullied out of mid. So we're going to bully them out. There he goes. We're double teaming him. At this point, Light Pink realizes what's happening. It might be too late. It might not. I think he still has time looking at this. They still have more supply, and all we have to do is back off. But they're not coordinated. They're not fighting together, so there's this hectic thing going on where there's no decision to be made between the both of them to take this fight. So, I mean, units aren't firing back at us, so why don't we just keep firing at him? As you're watching this, if they had chosen to engage, we would have backed off for just as long as they have both of their attention freed on us. So let's watch this again. We're taking as much space from Virus as we can. Light Pink decides to continue engaging or following Green, but there's no engagement to have. The threat is mid right now. He realizes that he's stuttering in. Okay. But he's not being persistent, and he keeps giving up more and more space. But Virus is like, I'm taking my corner. I'm going to maintain our vision in the mid. Which is it actually works out very well, because there's at least one unit in mid. They can see in. They can still take this conflict. They didn't put themselves in a situation where, even though they had more supply, they would have lost the battle. So that's very good play by them, or by Virus. Slayer. I want to say Slayer is Light Pink. This particular Slayer, he prioritizes lane over mid and almost screwed over his teammate really bad, and himself. So this is what's happening here is we're giving up only as much space as we have to. So we're gonna watch this again. Probably I didn't want to go this far back up, but watch the persistence of me and Toxic in this situation. There's every time that we're threatened, we're only giving up what we absolutely have to. We're outnumbered. We're giving up what a little bit of space. Go. He's backing off. That's our space now. Now we're at that point right there that just happened. They were both engaging. There was more supply, so we back off. Nothing's there. He's retreating. We're going to come back because at any time our diagonal could do something, and that's going to put them into a 3v2 situation, and then all of a sudden we have more supply when you take into account that our diagonal has joined the conflict. And also we're maintaining vision of the mid tower. If we're really smart, we might be thinking about Teal might be playing again soon. Probably not. We're just going to wait till Teal reveals himself. We have mid. And lo and behold, light green is playing. There's nothing else going on that we know of. Excuse me. So we're going to take that space. And we're going to double team light pink. So we're making pretty good use out of our supply, even though we're kind of low right now. Excuse me. Teal is at this point, Teal is cutting us off. So what are we going to do? Light green isn't doing anything. Blue is free. He's retreating back to his base. This is what we know. Blue is going that direction. Light pink's army is getting, or light pink's supply is getting cut away at, or eaten away at. Pink is doing what he can to pressure mid right now. We're kind of retreating in a kind of inefficient way. We should use the fog of mid as long as we can to not be losing units like this. This is like 4 or 5 supply at least that we've lost, and we're going to lose more because we're going in the wrong direction. Ideally, what you want to do is send your army here, or send your resupply one direction, send your army the other direction, because obviously you don't want to be sending your units directly into this. You want to consolidate this into a clump, consolidate this into a clump, and then get us around. And that's probably what our goal is here. Not sure quite what's going on, but at this point we definitely know that we're getting cut off. See where I'm aiming my units? I'm aiming not at his army. We're both going at him. We're going to outnumber him. We don't want to just chase him away. We want to guarantee these kills. And it's going to be a risky play because we don't know what blue is doing right now. Okay, blue reveals himself. This was a really shitty position. It turns out blue was right here. Blue backed off and he came up back this way, saw his ally doing something, and there's a clump of units coming after him, and well, this is close to home. So let's see what happens. This is a really bad position for us. Okay, we're screwed. Normally, if you don't recognize this, we're just gonna lose that entire army. What do we do? Okay, we're backing off. What can we do here? There's a pretty good possibility that green is going to do something. As we can see, green is not doing anything, so this sucks. Our diagonal is not helping us. It's become a 2v2 situation against the lanes, I guess. I don't know how a good word for that. When I think of cross, I think of diagonal. But maybe this is what people refer to when they say cross. We're going to see if we can retreat in the mid. Okay. What are we doing over here? Well, Toxic, he's doing a good job at consolidating his resupply into another clump. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Let's just look at what are we doing here. Toxic already had some units in his bunker, so that kind of sucks in the first place. You don't really want that. He rallied behind his bunker. Now he's got some units here. I am making a valiant effort, but not a great successful effort. We want to have our units together. Be ideal if these units backed off this way, and this is continuing to back off this way. For whatever reason, these units were able to retreat this way. So, blue cut. He knows he's getting cut. Blue, or light blue knows he's getting cut, so he backs off. Light blue's coming here. Their army's gonna end up fighting simultaneously. This sucks. Okay, so this is what light blue did wrong. Or fucking... This is what teal did wrong. He could continue taking this space here, and I can't retreat. He'd be basically cutting me off from my resupply. So my only option would be to let him take out my army or continue running and running and running and wasting his time. But what ends up happening is he didn't stutter. He accepted this position as his own, and we're going to back off. I decided to take this engagement. I probably assumed that blue's going to get bored, but he didn't. So now I'm still losing more and more units. But it wasn't a complete catastrophe. I mean, it was a catastrophe, don't get me wrong. But it could have been a lot worse. So what we want to do is, okay, bunker's not under threat. We're going to stake our claim for mid. We're going to let whoever knows is in mid that we are there. At least I will. Toxic is gonna lane. He probably wants to undercut. At this point, I feel like he might have accepted this as a 2v2 against our lane, or against his lane. This isn't that great. Because once again, you don't know what's going on here. Dude's army could be here, or his army could be here. We don't know how big his supply is. Or actually, we know that they have more supply than us. So why are we going this far out? I can't engage blue. Blue has more supply than me. He can't engage yellow, or yellow can't engage teal, especially this close to his bunker, because teal already has more supply than us, and we just found that out. So maybe he wants to keep the attention on him for whatever reason, but we're basically dividing our forces. Teal decides that he's going to come over here. I'll probably be going this way to see if I can get a surround. And then again, I'm not going to do that because I'm aware that blue is in mid, possibly. Let's find out. Let's see if it's reasonable for me to assume that blue is in mid. Blue's in mid. Backing off. Backing off. Let's try and save what we can. Okay, he had a nice little concave on blue, and blue wasn't accepting the fight. He was running away. So it's reasonable to assume that There's some pressure going on somewhere that's causing him to back off. This is acceptable. Except his position is not aggressive towards mid. It's aggressive towards his lane. And then his position is aggressive towards nothing. I'm here staking my claim to mid. I'm checking. I want to see who's in mid. They have mid. Not a time to lane. Do not lane when you do not have mid. How about me killing Majayoon? If you want me to review a replay, just send it to me. Like DM it to me. I prefer it to be I just want it to be interesting in some way. And most games are interesting in some way. But like we already know after that battle that we're outnumbered and that they have mid advantage. That means that this is threatening ourselves to get cut. Blue is back, or teal is backing out of mid. I'm poking here, so nobody was shooting at me from mid, but that was a missed micro. Blue makes it. He picks off the one unit that I have going into mid to see if he's in there. So we know that blue is in mid. Teal's getting a bad concave on him. I want to keep blue here so that someone else can poke into mid and kick him out. I need him here. I want to force him to be here as much as I can, or have him or force him to be in the mid tower so that when two teams threaten mid, he has to leave it. But Toxic wants to lane for some reason. And that puts me in a really bad fucking position. Well, it doesn't put me in a bad position. It puts me in a position that isn't good, because I can't go here. Because if you're in mid, yeah, your priority is mid, but your first priority is your bunker, then the threat in mid, then be in mid, and once you are in mid, you can cut, and if there's nothing going there, you cut a different lane. So they're at the stage where they control mid, and they can cut. So teal is pretty safe in doing this, even though it's just a waste of time. He's not doing anything effective here. He can basically be shoot off, which is going to happen. We're going to consolidate our forces. Toxic's going to give up whatever space he has to maintain what supply he still has. Or he's going to take this engagement because he has a good concave. He's actually kind of behind upgrades on teal, but not a significant amount. He's got better HP regen. He's like a point or two behind in places that matter, or that don't matter a whole lot. But he has more HP regen, which matters a whole lot. But still, there's greater supply. It's eventually gonna the army's eventually gonna unfold and give him a better concave. So he definitely at this point has to back up. And we know that blue's in mid. I can't threaten it. Maybe I did something dumb here. I threaten mid. I don't necessarily see pink here. I'm still trying to see what's going on. I definitely know at this point I'm getting out of there. I can't cut because he has more units than me. So I'm just going to load up my bunker the best I can and consolidate my units with my ally. Pink's over here. Our bunker and our supply line is under threat, so we're going to defend that. We're going to take it together and waste his time. As he backs off, that's him. That is Megavirus giving us mid, so we're going to go to mid. Mid is actually been taken by our diagonal. I'm getting a little bit fatigued here. It takes me a long time to go through these replays. Oh, I feel like I should take a break. Okay. I'm a bit parched as well. Okay, so we just skipped those last 20 seconds, so let's see what happened. Mega Virus knows we're not gonna give him a good conflict here, so he's gonna back off. He's gonna have to go seek elsewhere for a good engagement. Our diagonal is threatening mid. We're gonna go in, or our diagonal is trying to take control of mid, but we were too late. So we actually kicked our diagonal out by doing this. And you might ask, what did we do? Well, it's more of what didn't we do, because we did nothing. We have this space. We should have followed him. We should have followed, it's more my responsibility. Pink's my side, it's my responsibility. This is our space at the very least. I'm not going to follow him to his map, or I'm not going to follow him to his side of the map, but I am going to threaten him and bully him out of my space. All right. There he goes. Toxic's taking the initiative. That's good. What's going on here? Okay, I guess we did do a fairly decent job of staying active. But I'm at the corner and I stay there. This is what happened. Light Green got scared and ran off. He had mid. I don't think he tried to get the mid tower, so he doesn't see what's happening. So he just backs off. Light Green backs off. He's scared, and then there's no one here to double team Pink and get him out. Toxic is kind of sort of laning and putting him in a position where I have to give up my position in mid if Blue accepts that fight. Teal doesn't accept the fight, I mean. So we can double team Pink, get him out. Our supply's back up. Light Blue's trying to get in mid. He actually has more supply. He doesn't realize it, so he backs off. This is more of a bluff. And then once that's over with, Light Blue is retreating. That's the moment. As soon as Light Blue retreats, he should come over here and help me. It took him an extra second or two, so I had to maintain this battle longer than I needed to. And it ended up getting Pink a little fed here. Him taking shots at our diagonal. I mean, neither here nor there. Pink's got low supply right now, so we don't have to worry about him having supply. Or we don't have to worry about him having too much supply for the moment. Pink's gonna lane again. And as we've seen before, okay, we're being threatened in two spots, so we have to consolidate and choose one battle. And Pink would be the priority. We don't notice. We're far out here. So we've lost a bunch of supply. This sucks. We didn't react in time. We gave him a good couple seconds to allow ourselves to be trading with Teal. Either I should be over there or he shouldn't be taking this battle. It's not that great of a concave anyway. Probably just back it up. Let him get established. See what else is going on. But he's actually... Is that really 50 supply? I could help him take this and scare him off, or he could just back off. It would waste more time for me to take this than to have him back off and set up a cut. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I have my mercs. What are my next priorities? I'm going to build a tank. And my guy keeps laning, so I'm just going to build a shield tower, and I'm going to build a sensor. Going to need him anyway at some point. It's not going to set me too far behind. But I'm not going to finish the shield tower because he's going to continue to destroy my SCV if I do that. So I take the opportunity that he's given me to put it in my bunker. Yellow actually ended up losing that battle outright. At this point, I would guess that Toxic has less upgrades. Yeah, Toxic has way less upgrades. So we definitely have to be relying on tactics and micro. So we're kind of in a really bad spot here. I'm gonna fill up my bunker. We're gonna consolidate our forces. I'm actually feeling pretty good. I got War Pigs. I'm gonna get behind him a little bit and make sure that I get as many kills as I can. Toxic isn't helping me with this, so I have to back off. Pink gets a little fed. Now my goal here is I'm just gonna stay on low upgrades probably and save for tank. Oh, I remember this match was really screwy. Oh, really screwy. But every time there's no pressure on our corner, we pressure mid. And at this point, my army, might feed. That's okay. It's definitely not that big of a deal. So teal and blue are in first place. Wait, let's go back. Let's go here. How far in first place are they? They have about 300 more minerals than us. My monitor. I gotta do something with my monitor. There's an FPS counter on here that just doesn't go. It just keeps bringing itself back, and I don't want it. So they got at 5 minutes are about 300 ahead. Let's just go through this. That is Dvornik in Nova Scotia. Go real fast. They're AFK. Dvornik lanes. Nova Scotia is taking battles on his side of the map because Toxic brings it to him. Nothing really happens there at this point. Toxic is still continuing to bring battles to him though. That's gonna give him an advantage. It's 90. It's 100 to 90. Toxic's at 34 supply. Light blue is at 33. Blue is floating. In fact, I'm floating as well. That's unfortunate. But now he took that battle a little bit too long, and then they get that. Blue accepts a battle in mid. He has one regen over green. He's going to win that battle. They have mid. They're fighting together. They're not separating their forces. Blue lanes. Yellow is taking the battle to teal's side of the map. Get himself some really good engagements against Toxic, given the circumstances, puts himself in a comfortable first. He's got more upgrades as well. Maybe not the right ones. I'd like to see him have more HP regen. He'd have more supply right now after that really good fight he gave himself. Blue's over here. Teal is not okay. I was gonna say he hasn't given up, but he just gave up. Blue has 1 HP regen. Green has 1. Blue has more speed, which is more important than more attack at this point, because his, even if he doesn't micro, or if they both don't micro, which they aren't, his concave will fill out faster. Light teal's laning. Light teal. My God, I'm getting closer. Teal is laning. Gets a good cut. A little bit. He gets some feed off of this. And then we give up mid. And our diagonal wasn't playing. No one was keeping blue occupied. I guess the best... I think we should have just... We should have backed off. I don't know, man. That's weird. You know what? Remember I was talking about early. Let me back up a few. Okay, blue cut us. Our best bet was to at least find out what was happening here. If nothing was happening there, that means that blue is freed up to do this to us. We get pretty screwed there. They get a good engagement. We're getting laned a lot. We're not doing much with the mid advantage. Because we can't, because we lost supply. But so far, they've been in mid at least a little bit, right? There's once. There's twice. They had it for a minute there. At this point, okay, let's look at one last thing. Blue has low supply. Light blue has high supply. I think it's just the mid camping right now. And look at this. He's got nothing to cut, so he cuts his lane's lane. Here's allies lane's lane. That'll screw him over though. Because this area right here is gonna all come to mid and cut him off. So perhaps he falls behind. Pink is getting ahead. I've got the lowest score. Don't have much for upgrades. I'm just saving. I back off here. Or I cut him off here. Get some SCV feed. Do what we can there. Could have played that better. I should have used more units to help Toxic instead of probably fire on the dude's bunker. Haven't really been paying attention to mineral shards, but I would say Pink probably is more likely to get mineral shards than I am. But while we were over here cutting, these guys aren't very good. They're not doing anything. So pink and light pink get a bunker for free. So do we. So in this case, the strong diagonals are actually the strong crosses. Because this side is definitely not doing anything. I'd say this is the weakest lane here between both of them. This side is definitely contesting mid more. Me and Toxic are doing a good job at staying active, but I think we're overextending a lot, which is ended up feeding teal and blue a little bit, just a tiny bit. But now we're in second place. Pink's got third in score, fourth in score. I'm actually in like 7th place. You know what? Okay, so I gotta do something about this. Letting minerals just sit outside of my base. I see it. I gotta do a little bit more to scout for minerals. Toxic and Pink are going to get ahead, but they're probably going to be the weakest players at this, like, for the rest of the game, because they both got Reapers. How do you do? What's up, Barry? Hey man, I'm recording this video. I'm not going to talk to the chat too much unless it's about the game. I hope you're doing well, sir. We bully him out of mid, yada yada yada. Green isn't playing very much in the first place, and he's definitely not contesting mid. But you see that first and second place are the two teams that are putting the most pressure on mid. And Pink will naturally be in second place because he's laning. Although these guys are a pretty good these guys are doing pretty well too, but I think that they get usurped pretty good, or pretty quick. Alright, bro. I'll check it out later. Hope you're doing alright. Pink's laning. Oh man, he's gonna get that fat, delicious Merc Marine feed with no upgrades. Yeah, man, it's in the description. This link might work. Oh, I don't have that. I don't have that set up, but it should be in my chat. Not chat, on my page somewhere. It's not. Oh yeah, it is. It's right there. Okay, cool. I just assume you're already in it, to be honest. Okay, so Pink's laning. He's gonna have a lot of money because he keeps cutting me off with my Merc Marines, or with my Merc Marines, and Toxic does something very ill-advised here. He sees a Marine bunker go down, so he's like, oh, I gotta cancel it. But I'm over here getting cut off. This is bad, and it's particularly bad for a second reason. It's bad because blue can come help, making this entire trek over here pointless. The second is, there's actually 3 really bad things here that add up on each other. Toxic built Reapers, and he's attacking Marines into a shield tower, which gives these units 6 armor, so that reduces the damage that his units are taking by 12. I just wouldn't recommend it. He's fighting. It's just a bunker. It's just a bunker. Don't worry about it. People are going to get bunkers. What's more important is controlling where all the feed is going. And Pink's going to get fed during this. Especially because I don't have upgrades. Mostly because I trust him. But he might get this cancel, and that's cool. But what if blue was playing? Well, if blue is playing, he probably would have backed off by now, but blue isn't playing, so he's going to get the cancel, and he's going to feed on the SCV. So I guess in this, it works out for him. I cut off Megavirus. I noticed that I'm definitely going to have to get upgrades, so I get 2-2. I force Megavirus to throw down a turret of all things. So that's not working out, so I back off. These units are a little faster than mine. My diagonal is being uncooperative and feeds my units to Pink instead of microing and offering me aid. We're in first place now because out of a stroke of luck, Teal's been feeding SCVs, and blue didn't come to aid or come to his allies' aid until Teal's army was already evaporated. So I'm just on resupply mode, and I'm just gonna, no pressures coming over here, so I'm just gonna, you know, do what I can. Might as well do something. It's probably a reasonable time to back off. Especially if blue starts playing. Yep. Very bad position for me to be in. I'm definitely feeding. But I'm also just being greedy, trying to be a little greedy and get my tank finished. I realize here that, well, I'm going to do something stupid because I'm having, at this point I recognize, okay, Toxic isn't being a good ally. He's allowing Pink to get this huge lead over me. Let's see what the score was before. Pink's at 1800. What is Pink doing? Pink is free. Pink has been freed up by us attacking this bunker. So Pink can go where he wants. Here's the score right now. Pink's at 1200. I'm at 1050. Toxic is at 1270. We're not fighting for mid right now. We're concentrating on this bunker. Now we're thinking of this by army composition right now. And I'm gonna get to that because I forgot what I was going to follow that with. But we're taking into account army composition right now. Okay, my thoughts were this: Reapers suck. They're just terrible units. So I'm not really worried about how high Virus's score gets here because it's not going to really affect me too much because I can just fight under a shield tower and beat him because his units aren't merked and he's got Reapers and I'm fighting under a shield tower. But I do have to do something, so that does do one thing. I have to worry about getting cut off, and I'm gonna get cut off if we're not fighting for mid. So for whatever reason we weren't in mid. We take mid. Pink's got his Reaper bunker down. Honestly, I didn't see it. I don't give a shit. I wasn't even looking for it. I only care if he's building a tank. And so he's not building a tank, so I'm not worried about anything he's doing. Okay, we're going to fight for mid. Light green wants to fight his diagonal. Light green wants to help his diagonal. Okay, we got mid. Top left is in first place. We're pretty even score with bottom left. Actually, we're 200 ahead in total right now. Virus is gonna start swearing at people. All right. Maybe Toxic saw the shield tower. He wants to come over here and check. He's gonna send his entire army over here and fight into a shield tower in an ill-advised venture to get his ally cut off. His ally gets cut off. These are Merc Marines. I'm like, okay, well, Toxic should come over here and help me, right? So I'm well within my... It's well within the realm of possibility that me cutting this deep is a really good idea. Now, Pink's score just shot up already because we're concentrating on this right now. And he was fighting over here. I remember that. But this right here is like 70 minerals. Now, how are we going to make those minerals back? Well, fighting me is a good initial investment. Or fighting me is a good initial return on your investment. But I'm going to win the engagement almost always. Especially if I'm under a shield tower, but I'm not under a shield tower because I'm expecting Toxic to come over here. I'm expecting him to realize that this isn't a huge priority, but he doesn't. He's lucking out here that this is going so well for him. But still, I cut off Mega Virus. I'm punishing him for laning because laning is not good. And then he throws down I force him to throw down a turret. So that puts his score down by 225 already. So I'm going to retreat back to mid. I'm going to seek out aid. Because I can't retreat back this way. Because he can just follow me that way. So this is what gains me the most space and time. Oh, come on. And STH already happened. I don't know what that means. So Pink's score just jumped way up. We're still ahead because Toxic has taken this engagement. But here's the thing. We've given out score by doing this. I always prefer to deny score while I'm getting score. We just gave out 500 minerals by doing this. This is going to allow Pink to build another bunker or do another investment. My preference will always be to, when given the choice of two engagements, take the one If they're both advantageous, take the one that is going to keep the money out of other people's hands, because I don't want them building tanks. And especially my lane. I do not want my lane to have a tank. But this is going to work out in that Teal's going to cancel his bunker. We're going to get 750 minerals out of here, and then I'm going to do some dumb shit with my army. I just want to take money. My nose is stuffed up. Hell, we might even get this bunker. Who knows? Alright. But we're still laning. Megavirus is going to get a SCV kill. He's going to get a sensor tower. Okay, this is another thing that I want to talk about. I don't know where he put. Okay, he placed his bunker wrong. I'm going to tell you why. You want the bunker towards mid here and towards your opponent, so that you have plenty of options where you're going to put your tower. And the best spot to put your tower, I would say, is right here. It doesn't matter really much. Like, maybe he can put it here, but this is not the worst place he could put his bunker, because he can still place a tower here. But his tower is right here. It's in front of the bunker. If you had it right here, if you had it on this towards his lane, towards mid, and he could put his tower here. But here's another thing. I always build my tower here. It's never going to get destroyed. This is 125 fake score right now, and it's giving me enough information. And if I need to defend a bunker, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to build a Reaper bunker, right? So that's out of the question. If I want to build a Marine bunker, I can use this area as where I'm going to take the conflict. Yes, the bunker is in front outside the shield tower, but I'm going to choose to take the engagement here, so it doesn't matter. But it still applies. If he had a shield tower here, he can still take the battle here. But definitely have the tower behind the bunker. It's a physical barrier. It aggroes. But further back here, especially a sensor tower, you're not going to need a sensor so much covering. I mean, it's okay to have a sensor here, because it gives you a little sneak peek in the mid, but you can get the information you need to see if there's anything there for free. It would cost you 1 unit. But, like, what? If you're planning on doing something like this, and if you know that you're going to do it, just don't build it, because that's 125 score that you just gave up. And it's still going to be on the scoreboard, but you lost the tower. We're going to scare him off. Going to follow him a little bit. Not going to go too far. Go towards mid. He comes back. I'm going to go back, split. It's a 2v2 right now, so Toxic's going to take the corner. I'm going to do this. Play it by ear. I'm going to stay as close to his army as I can if Toxic, and I'm going to pursue only if Toxic accepts this cut. We take the cut. There's no reason to be over here. I go to mid. Toxic ends up feeding his army. Oh, that's me. No, that's Toxic. Toxic ends up giving Pink some feed. But that's okay, because Pink has Reapers. Who gives a shit? Reapers fucking suck. And you're gonna... when I played this game, I was like, okay, so Toxic is not going to win his lane in a reasonable amount of time. We would be dead. And this put me in a position where I felt like, okay, my ally keeps abandoning me. I can't trust him with my tank strategy. So I'm going to have to complement it with Marauders. Because Pink is laning and Toxic is allowing him to. Did you guys win or lose me this game? I don't know. You're going to have to find out. Alright. So, nothing's happening here. This was a bad decision by me. I should have known that just by looking that they have more supply. I'm going to go over here. This is going to get me in a really bad spot. I'm like, okay, no. I'm not. I got to get out of there. That was bad. That was very bad. I'm going to take the corner. I'm going to be in mid. I'm going to get as good of engagement as I can out of this. Death heads are feed, man. 15 minerals a pop. And they're just dead space in an army. And then look at this. I was in mid. So nobody ever scouted this. The entire time that this was building, nobody ever scouted it. I bet you didn't even notice. Like, okay, let's control mid. I'm literally like, I wouldn't put this bunker down if we didn't have complete control of mid. Hell, I could be funny and let Virus see me put it down so he'll keep coming over while we have mid. But we scare him off. And I did do something incredibly stupid here. Okay, we got the cut, and that's the moment we get the cut, I have the time bought. We're 55 supply ahead. Toxic would be right in wanting to trade a little bit, but he should back off the other part of the army and secure mid. We lucked out, and mid is still secured. So there's no pressure on my Marauder bunker. Nobody knows about it. I'm going to come over here. I'm probably thinking, okay, Toxic is laning. So I have to take the attention away from mid, from at least these guys. Maybe I see teal light green coming over here, but I decide, okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to bring the attention over here. And then I'm like, okay, that's probably not a good idea. I'm gonna take a fight on my own terms. It's good enough. The bunker's down. So what happened? Megavirus laned. He got cut off, and it bought me plenty of time to get this bunker down. And now the classic, oh, I fucked up. And yes, you'd be right in saying that. You did fuck up. You built Reapers. At this point, Pink is completely irrelevant to this game. I can build a tank and kill him whenever I want. And like at this point, I'm trying to fish for some money so I can get concussive shells. And then I'm going to put some money into armor and regen and call it a day, because that's all Marauders and Marines need in the way of upgrades. But remember, usually you share mid with your diagonal, but this is kind of an expedited game, I guess you could say. Is that right? No. I get, this is an expedited game in that the two best teams are right next to each other. You can see by the scoreboard who they are, and you can figure out who's going to be or why they're there, because they've been controlling mid, they've been fighting for mid all game. Although pink and light pink not nearly as much, but I did a lot of really bad miss micro stuff, and we took some bad engagements, made some questionable decisions. We could be even further ahead, or the lobby could be further behind this point on the scoreboard, or like if we had taken our battles a little bit more smart and not just seen a bunker and went after it, we'd be more ahead and have fed less. I'm not quite sure what Toxic's doing here. He's accepting these 2v2 battles against Megavirus, who has comparable upgrades. Megavirus has 2 HP regen, so this is kind of embarrassing that I was doing so poorly against him. Like, in my defense, I'm thinking more about than just laning, and I have long-term goals here, and he's just building Reapers, and he's going to continue building Reapers. So would you rather be me with 1800 score, or would you rather be pink with 3200 score? But I have Marauders and he has Death Heads. See, this single difference in investment has put us leagues apart. He's 1,000 ahead in score, but my army is, you'll see, I just bully the shit out of him. He can't even get in the mid. Teal's going to help him, or light green's going to help him. Basically at this point, instead of this team is our diagonal, and this team is their diagonal, is how it's acting. Because it's like this 2v2, but I'm not letting the 2v2 happen because I don't believe in that. I'm still going to be trying to take the high ground. Which, as you can see, just by me not accepting that this is how the game is going to go, green and light green have gravitated towards mid. They must have at some point saw me. I engage them, and I'm telling them basically, or what that tells them is get your act together. And they did. For a brief period of time. But that was only because, I was the first army they saw, and they went after it. Is this a second cancel? Yes. Nuke didn't go down the first time. So Toxic's doing pretty good score-wise, but he has Death Heads. And he's lucky that he's fighting 2 players with just Marines. Now, if at some point I would be freed up, and you'll probably see me kind of nudging my way this way. If pressure stops happening, we're going to gravitate towards killing someone at this point because we're well established. We have 2 bunks. We're at the as many bunks as we're going to need for the rest of the game. If we get any more bunks, we're going to start losing bunkers. Especially if it's another Reaper bunker. I mean, it's hard to say, but like if everyone's doing their part, we will not lose bunkers. But I've already accepted that I can get tanked from mid by building this Marauder bunker. I would prefer to just have a teammate support me and not have to feel like I need Marauders just to stay alive. Because the problem with Marauders is that they're scary and people will team up on you just because they see them. See that you have them. Especially when your score goes up, and it's going to get us 6v2'd. And we'll have to be very lucky about this being a low level lobby. Otherwise, we just die. If we can fight one team with tanks, we definitely can't fight 2. And definitely not if we're being attacked at the same time by 2 players with tanks. And especially if we're getting tanked from mid. So I'm going to be low in score but high in strength. Toxic's basically trying to feed on 5 minerals a pop. Bad Panda not supporting you? Possibly. Panda just keeps going over here to fight unmerked Marines, which aren't good feed for the amount of damage you have to deal. There's going to be better feed elsewhere. Do you want to get 5 minerals a pop for 200 HP damage, or do you want $10 a pop for 270 to 290? It's a little bit more health you got to chew through, but you'll get more feed. And once again, he's taking the battle to their side. They can just chew him off by double teaming him, and they're fighting under a shield tower. So this 8 attack this 8 attack he has is actually 2. And they're death heads, and they're just not good units. What if they build a shield tower and I'm getting double teamed? How are you going to prevent them from getting Marauders? Then you're double useless. Toxic's been pretty well able to manage keeping at 55 supply. So what does he do? He needs to doubly keep himself at full supply, so he's going to build another bunker. Alright, that's good. We're going to take mid control. Now, what do we do here? Teal and blue aren't really playing. So we can pressure these lanes now that opportunity is opened up for us. We see that this battle is happening. It's a 2v2. We don't have to be a part of that. We could decide. I mean, at this point, we don't have to 2v2 because we don't have a tank yet. There's no reason to 2v2. And instead of getting this bunker, we could have pulled for a tank. That's when we 2v2. That's when we start taking out bunkers. But that's not going to happen. We could have been taking out bunkers in the time and not having... What you'll notice happen here is that our score is going to jump up because we're doing a whole bunch of trading. And as the score of the entire lobby comes up, the higher the difficulty of fighting off a 6v2 becomes. Our goal should be not to get feed. Our goal is to take out a team, and if a 4v2 happens, or if a 6v2 happens, it's not going to be a 6v2. It's going to be a 5v2 or a 4v2. And if we're not seeking out like getting Reapers and just having a high score with units that are not good, that are just as expensive to like Reapers are as expensive to keep them relevant as they are in how much score that they get you. So they're kind of fucking useless. So Toxic's gonna poke around, try to get an engagement. I am shit out of luck. Toxic is laning again. Light green is threatening mid. That's okay. Both of these armies have Reapers. But at this point, Virus wants to get in another bunker. He's fighting Marauders. If he's smart, he's going to either get a tank, which he's just going to lose that battle. It basically, whoever has the Marauders wins the tank battle. So, I mean, he's just going to keep on laning. He's got pretty good speed. I can keep him from running, but I can't just like babysit his bunker. I can, but that's not useful. He's going to throw another turret that puts him, that's his second turret he's thrown that we know about. Anytime Pink wants to come over here, like, I'm all for it. I might not get there in time. It's going to take me a minute. I have Marauders. But once he's there, I have him stuck in place. I guess I could be being more aggressive with this if I wanted to. Basically, as soon as he accepts a battle and I have a better concave, he's just, this entire army is my feed, or his feed for me. And then light pink is breaking off, and this is where people are starting to gang up on us, and we've basically failed. We've lost this game at this point. Instead of getting a tank, we've opted to get a second Reaper bunker, which is just it's basically a sponge for Toxic's money. So, I mean, I'd be more inclined, like, he asked me to send him money a few times, but I'm like, why should I send you money? You have Reapers. That's not going to help us. And then we get nuked. So this is good, actually. We're going to lose the bunker. The bunker is going to get destroyed before the bunker goes down. So this is actually a good trade. But Toxic wants to defend his bunker, so he's going to use his nuke on this. He's actually going to destroy his own bunker. Probably. Ideally, he destroys his own bunker if he is going to use it. There's no money popping up above the bunker, so I think he denied Pink the kill, so maybe that was part of his reasoning for this. But imagine if we were not in first place, we wouldn't be getting 6v2'd, and we could have fought that off very easily. That's all Reapers do. They get you in first place and get you teamed. And if anyone builds Marauders, you're fucked. But in this situation, we could have traded that bunker for a nuke and not used our nuke. And that would have been like, great, cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for using your nuke to destroy my bunker. So Toxic lost a bunker. That sucks, but that's also okay because you'll notice in a moment he's going to build a marine bunker, so his army is a little less shitty because there'll be less Reapers in it. There it goes. Puts it down. There's better feed over here. But he decided to build a... See, he's got options here. He chose... This is where, like, you put your bunker here so that you can put your supply here. But I would prefer to get a marine bunker and get supply here. In fact, I would opt to not even get a bunker ever. Or maybe just a single marine bunker. Like, you don't have to do all these things to pursue being in first place. You can be in last place and just follow whatever direction the lobby is going. And you give everybody else these high scores, but they're all fake. Because you're able to, like, oh, this guy's top score, let's go take out some of his bunkers. This guy's top score, let's go take out some of his bunkers. Or, as a game would naturally progress, this guy has a tank, I'm going to go use it. Or this guy has a tank, let's go all team up on him. Or, the natural progression of a game would be, one guy mercs, one guy gets marines. We do fantastic cuts. We control mid fantastically. We get fantastic cuts. We bait out the nukes. And then we go kill whoever used their nukes. Or you just sit back and you just have your tanks and you deny feed. And you take the opportunities as they arise. But that's not going to be in this replay. This is kind of how a noob game in a pub kind of pans out. So we have the two highest scores here, Pink and Toxic Panda. Oh wow, they're 3k ahead. But if you notice, I have a Marauder bunker and Pink has, let's see, similar upgrades, I would assume, to Panda. But Panda lost himself a bunker because he decided to get another bunker. I guess another good reason not to get that is that it's just like, it's just another thing that can be under threat. Sometimes it works out, but here it didn't. It was just another thing that could be threatened. And you know if my Marauder bunker was under threat, I would have just threw my nuke out just like that, just as soon as he was on top of me. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I don't give a shit if someone's gonna destroy my Reaper bunker. If I build a Reaper bunker in a game, it's just because I need that to graduate to tanks or Marauders. Like, please get these things out of my army. Like, save me the money I would have to put in retiring these fucking paperweights. I mean, they're not paperweights. They're just high calorie snacks for everyone else to feed on. Okay, Toxic is over here. He's trading. Now here's the problem. Here's a big freaking problem. Here's about where the bunker goes down. As soon as it goes down, we're going to analyze that situation. Toxic is laning right now. I'm trying to get a good concave on pink. Turns out that pink is trying to get money to build himself, or he's trying to get money, obviously. The nuke goes down. We have no army. That means we've already lost mid. The bunker is under threat. He nukes. He's already targeted the bunker. Okay, he gets a nuke off of us. So what do we do in this situation? Armies are down. There's two turrets there. We probably want to take care of the turrets, but they just disappear, and we, like, fuck it. We don't want the score. We can just ignore them. So we're under threat from light green and mid right now. So that's our priority. Light green backs off, but he could still be sitting here. Megavirus just got a bunch of money from that fat nuke that he got off of us, and destroying the bunker. Hell, that might even be enough to build a Marauder bunker. In fact, he built a Marauder bunker. So we know that light green is in mid. So we don't have mid right now. So we don't have we don't have access to information like this. Like dude to who is our lane, not our diagonal, is building a Marauder bunker. We don't want that. Toxic has decided to lane. And I'm kind of not taking this opportunity to move out. This is where I'm just confused. Like, why is he over here? Why is he laning? Why is he attacking into a shield tower still? I guess I'm confused here. Like, what do I do here? Well, I can definitely tell you that instead of doing what I'm doing here, is I should be going mid and not worrying about a possible another snipe. This is probably me just being frustrated. Okay. Underscore is being dumb and didn't go straight for mid. Okay, bam. Now we know about the Marauder bunker. What's Toxic gonna do? He's gonna lane. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to... Oh, I'm not doing my best. I have to be here because he's building a bunker. In this okay, so I see what's happening now. Panda put down his bunker in this spot that is it's a threat to top right. They see this, it's really close to them. They're gonna fixate on this bunker for the rest of the game, because that's like, oh, now I can't build a bunker there, so we have our top priority. They'll feel like their top priority is getting rid of that bunker. This is a safer spot. Neither of us have to move very far to get there, especially me. This is a good spot to put it. I don't have to go out of my way to defend it. This, I have to go out of my way to defend it. And if it's seen, he's automatically going to get double teamed. But we don't have mid. We didn't have mid control when this bunker came down. I almost guarantee it. If you don't have mid vision like this, we don't have mid vision, and you put down a bunker and it gets scouted, and especially if you put it somewhere that is very aggressive, it's going to guarantee you get 2v2'd, and it forces your ally to stay back to help you, which is taking away pressure from mid, which allows people possibly getting bunkers that you don't want them to have, like worthwhile bunkers like a Marauder bunker. Hell, they could be building ghosts. We don't know. So Toxic's taking this battle. He did not build a shield tower before he put the bunker down. This is gonna be more difficult than it needs to be. It's basically gluing him in place. I see this. I want to cancel this, but I'm like, what's going on? What the hell's going on? Oh, he's building a bunker. Well, it's too late. The bunker went down because we just got nuked. The bunker just went down because we just got nuked, lost the bunker. He got the money for the bunker, and he put down the bunker. And we decided to build a very aggressive bunker before having any further information about what's going on. Like, if you consistently control mid, the pressure is there. They never feel comfortable to even put this thing down. And he had two better options for places to put his bunker. Like, you don't have to be greedy and take space like this. It will open up. You just have to be patient. So the damage is already done. Toxic's got himself 2v2'd. And I have to run back and forth for quite a while here. And I kind of really need him to repair my bunker soon. He puts down a shield tower directly in front of the bunker. He put it so that there is no safe place to put the shield tower. The shield tower is going to get destroyed over and over. He could have just put it here. It would have put coverage here. And you don't have to be aggressive towards your lane. It's not your priority. You shouldn't even really need a shield tower if you're collaborating or working with your teammates to control mid. And even if you have a bad diagonal and you're getting like 3v2'd all the time, you can take this space. You can always guarantee that you're going to 2v2. But that's not the situation. It's not the scope of this match. Poking around. We're just trading. Toxic's like, he's frothing at the mouth or whatever. Foaming at the mouth over this amazing feed that he's getting off of this dude who's finally murked. But he's like taking these battles on top of this bunker. Like, he's choosing that this battle is the one he's always going to take. Right on top of the bunker that is filled with 9 units, under a shield tower, and constantly being defended by his ally. Imagine if he had a tank instead of that second marine bunker. He'd still be able to maintain his supply. His lead wouldn't, like, maybe every once in a while he'd be in first place. Every once in a while he'd peak up and then bottom left would overtake us. Peak up, bottom left overtake us. But we wouldn't be in first place. So there's less reason to attack us. But obviously that's like it's more of like, why did I have to build this Marauder bunker? Because Toxic was laning. Why did we lose this bunker? Probably because Toxic was laning. Shit like that. Why didn't I immediately get a tank? Because Toxic was laning. Why aren't we killing this bunker? Because we're prioritizing getting score by laning instead of actually getting things that will progress the game and make make the final challenge of a 4v2 or maybe even a 5v2 more difficult. So here, at some point, I have to just say, I have to make the decision, like, this has gone on way too freaking long. I need a tank. All my, like, up until this point, it was like, I want to get a tank. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get a tank. Judging by what he's deciding his playstyle is going to be. So I'm going to get Marauders. That's going to set me back 1,000 minerals. Now I have Marauders. I have to get concussive shells. I have to merc them. That's another 700. I have to build a shield tower there. That's another 125. Now I have to get some okay upgrades. I need a bunch of armor. I need a bunch of regen because I have Marauders. People aren't going to like me, so I need to do these things. Plus my ally's not helping me, so I have to rely on upgrades rather than teamwork for my strength. Toxic loses his shield tower because it's in a vulnerable spot. It's to be expected. Pink has mid, got his Marauders. He's automatically going to be in first place right now because he's automatically going to have a lot of money because he's in mid. So Toxic's in a really precarious position here where it's like, okay, if my lane makes any good decisions, I'm fucked. And so far, they've made enough good decisions to keep themselves alive. But what if all that Marauder money, or what if all that Reaper money he's been feeding to Teal goes into a tank? Then we're like fucked. Like, oh yay, my score is so high. But what did you do with that score? You built bunkers. Oh. You built Reapers. Oh. What did you do with those Reapers? You contributed to Teal's score. Oh. What's going to happen? Teal's score is going to go up. Oh. What's he going to do with that score? Oh no, maybe he's going to build a tank. Okay, do we have a nuke to fight off that tank? No, we don't. Because he built a bunker that he couldn't. Well, that we did get a nuke out of, but the point is I'm getting at is this guy is not dead. And he's continuing to make money. I can't stress that enough. He's not dead. You want him dead. Your goal is to eliminate people. Your goal is not to be on the top of the scoreboard. Okay, so basically it's just going to be posturing, run back and forth, back and forth. Over here, it's just they're going to go back and forth, back and forth. There's never going to be any progress on either side until both of them are like 2,500 score or 25,000 score, 30,000 score, something stupid like that. And then everyone's going to be like, okay, we all got to team this guy. Okay, now we got to team this guy. Okay, now we got to team this guy. Okay, now this guy's too big. Now we both got to team him. Okay, this guy's too big. We got to team this guy. And it keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And at that point, the nukes are out in place, so you can't make power plays. You can't do nothing. It's just like, okay, now we're relying on people's ability to switch, and you got to rely on your own ability to switch, which is, you got to. It's like you have to trust other people not to let the game end, but at the same time you have to. I don't know. It's just like, do you want to play an hour-long match where the winner is thrown to? more than likely. I definitely don't, because people follow me around and they intentionally people just don't like me in the first place, and I build tanks, so that's another reason. Like I'll have a solid like I'll actually have a force that can do damage and defend myself, and and usually my base will be compact. So I personally, I don't want a game to last that long, because people love fucking throwing the game against me. Whatever. So basically, it's 15 minutes in the game. This is when things actually start happening. I've been so stubborn about mid. I've been able to maintain a higher score than Light Pink, who also opted to build Reapers. I really haven't been looking at what's happening down here a whole lot. It's mostly been like Exodial's not playing until Exodial sees something, and then they 2v2. And then up here is Toxic Panda can 2v2 these guys, so he 2v2s these guys. Or Toxic Panda can 1v2 these guys, so he 1v2s these guys. So it's like Exodial is never going to get anything done. Pink got fed early on, and now he has Marauders, so now he can threaten mid, and we basically given up mid to a certain, like we've given up a very strong claim to mid, because Marauders we're fighting on even terms again, even though like Pink, his army is still pretty weak, because he's got these Reapers in it flying around doing no damage. Can you show names? I think it flashes on and off. But this is Megavirus. This is Dvornak. This is Nova Scotia. This is Exodial. I want to see if I can remember without looking. Okay, these guys have been irrelevant, so I just haven't really looked at their name. Okay, that's Bendini. And this is a Slayer. And this is a classic Slayer move. He kind of sits there every once in a while. But he's laning like a motherfucker, I'd assume. That's like his score should be like 8,000 right now with these Reapers. But he's not, because he's not laning. He's not, like, in this situation, he's not laning and he's not going mid. He's either doing something, he's eating a bag of chips, I don't know. But I just haven't been paying attention to him, because like nothing cool has been happening with him. But I can deduce by this happening once that it's happened many times throughout the match. That's unfortunate. I don't know which Slayer it is, but this happens with a bunch of different Slayers, some more than others. And they get mad. And people get mad when I point it out. Like, dude, like, you're not going to get anything accomplished if you're not playing. Why should I subject myself to wasting my time on such a thing that you're doing, whatever. So here it's just like, okay, tank time. And we're slightly ahead, so everybody has to team up on us, I guess. And I'm going to position my tank where it's kind of difficult, for like this has coverage of all my bunkers. I prefer it to be here, but it's not. I don't know why I decided to put it here rather than somewhere else, but this is a good time to use my nuke. And I got to be really careful about this because here's another reason. This all of a sudden we're getting. I wanna guess 2v2'd. I didn't actually look, but or 2v1. Toxic's going to be getting 2v1 almost always. Blue's got his heart set, Teal's got his heart set on hitting this bunker because you know it's the closest thing, and this is the most likely thing he's gonna do. And when you feed on noobs like this is what's going to happen. You build too close to them, and they just go after you. And if you don't have tanks, they're gonna get overrun eventually because you can't expand. I mean, you can expand by building tanks, but that's about it. And if you don't build tanks, then this dude over here is gonna, okay, well, they just keep getting teamed up on. Everyone here is dumb. I'm gonna build and build and build. I'm gonna have a huge amount of supply, and then this team is gonna get wiped out. You can never get out of a 6v2 without tanks. And I see no reason why you should assume that you're not going to get 6v2'd. So your priority should be building tanks. It does two things. It doesn't put you in first place. It gets a team killed. And it gets you 4v2'd. 4v2s are easy, man. You might not even get 4v2'd because what's going to happen is you kill these guys so fast they didn't merc or anything, or they might not have even merked or anything. You intelligently choose your targets. You wipe the army. You bait out the nuke. You wait a minute, get your supply back up. You refuse to engage. You whittle down the army with tank until the army's gone. The other nuke comes out, bam, and then you take out the bunkers. And meanwhile over here, this guy has merked his Marines. This guy has merked his Reaper. This guy has merked his Marauder. One team is winning over the other because we did a good job. We fought for mid. We won mid for our diagonal. So our diagonal got Marauders. Our diagonal with Marauders is winning their conflict, but they're not going to win it as fast as we do. So this team is mad at us. Or this team is mad at this team because they're losing. So they're fighting for our life. This team is dead. We wait a minute. The fighting breaks back out. We come over here. We tank the Marauders. Or we tank them right here. And then just eat them up going down this way until finally the Marauders. And then all of a sudden, second or third place, or second place is in first place. First place is dead. And third place is just as behind as they were before. And then you win. It's a pretty solid way to win a game. Otherwise, if you don't do a build like this and prioritize laning, you opt to get Marines, one of you. You control mid. Or if you opt to get these Marines, it takes a long time. The scores go up. And then you're getting in the territory where people are well established and they can actually pressure you with multiple bunkers. It's like instead of 6 bunkers you got to worry about, it's like 18. You're not going to fight off 18 bunkers worth of supply constantly hammering down on you. Like, people have to be getting taken out. But how are we going to recover from this? Because we're from this standpoint, we vastly misplayed this match. We don't have our tanks. We're not killing people, and we're in first place. So naturally, we're the target. People are going to team up on us. So we have to hope that we're just better players. But we also have to recover from this and build tanks, because better players build tanks. So we're getting. Blue is actually attacking. He's actually playing now, and green is going to loop around and probably cut this guy off, hopefully. But still, teal doesn't like us. Light green sees that we have marauders, so he doesn't like us. Pink and light pink don't like us because we're their only competition. All of a sudden, I have to use my nuke. So this is like straight survival mode. Okay, now I'm worried. This is like not skill anymore. This is not a skill-based game. This match is completely out of our control. If these teams band together and decide, okay, let's kill them. How are we gonna kill them? They're not cracking open the way we like. They have tanks. What can we do? Oh, let's build tanks. Okay. That's probably going to happen. It's more than likely at least one player here is not tank averse for no reason other than that underscore builds tanks. No one likes underscore or something like that. Or tanks are too risky or this and that and whatever. But we got to be using our SCV. We have to keep this repairing. But I can't waste any time. My tank, I'm building the tanks. I'm building the tanks, so I gotta have the splash, and I gotta keep my SCV building the tank. Toxic needs to be repairing my bunker. And still, we're getting hammered from all sides. Blue decided to back off, so green is back to engaging his diagonal. Not to mention he's in last place. If this team dies, he's going to be next. If you kill your diagonal, you're naturally the next person to die. Because for two reasons. This is a bad example, but you want to kill your diagonal. You want to sabotage them, but you don't want them dead. So if you're dumb and you're in second place, then your diagonal is in first place. But if you kill your diagonal, all of a sudden this team gets all the money. So now they're first place. And now they're second place. And now you're third place. Or something like that. Or you get the kills in your first place. Say you're in first place, so they team up on you because you're first place. Say you're now in second or third place. Well, oh shit. This team decided to build tanks. That's actually how this team died, because that's about the only way you're going to kill a team like that. If they build tanks. Like, I'm making these assumptions that people are building tanks because they should be building tanks. But let's just say this guy's first place and he's good at the game. He's going to kill you. And then he's going to kill this guy. He's just going to go around the map. It's just like this. You go like that. It's just a motion like this. But basically, a diagonal dies, the next diagonal dies, and then the 2v2 happens in a normal match. But this is just like, okay, everyone versus top left because they're slightly ahead in score right now. Well, we were slightly ahead in score until they started all attacking us at once. And then, look, bam, my score all of a sudden is climbing. And I have a tank, so I'm defending this pretty easily. Actually, I guess when I said this statement that they put Pink in first place, or Pink is in first place, he was in first place because we lost the bunker, even though we were on the top. But people don't scout. And they also don't look at relative strength. They just look at the scoreboard. Excuse me. So my job here is to just stay alive. This is going to go on for a while, so we're finally to the point where we can speed up. If you want, I mean, I can look at my tank micro a little bit. I made a lot of mistakes here, so it's nothing to write home about. But Toxic is not laning now because he has no choice but to stay at home. So he's kind of forced to play correctly. I might lose this tank here. But Toxic's got my back. Go ahead and repair that. And I'm like, yes, Toxic is repairing my tank. What does that mean? Tank time. Tank time. I must be repairing that. I just don't see the SCV. Tank time. Where is my SCV? I can't see it. Okay, there it is. Whatever it was doing, it's probably repairing the... Okay, here it comes. Pink sieges tank in the range of my tank. I catch it. I aim at it. I get the first volley, so I win this battle. He has to back off and recognize it fast. Okay, so he recognizes it and backs off. So this time he went this way. But we're getting 6v2'd. If they want us dead, someone has to give up mid and help them keep it. Someone has to let them take me from mid. If they want to take out a bunker. If they want to just feed us, they can keep doing that. I'm going to rebuild that shield tower that got taken out. Or not. Tanks are more important at this point. Honestly, I kind of, in this position, he's got a tank. I don't know if I'm going to get tanked from mid. I don't know if this thing is going to stay up. I really don't care, to be honest. I kind of just want it to get gotten rid of. Because it's just aggroing people over and making me have to defend more space than I need. Like, all I need is one bunker to stay alive. Looks like he put a tank in mid. This is really scary. I get greedy here. I should have backed off immediately. These two tanks are in splash range of each other. I'm kind of sort of expecting Toxic to have vision of this bunker, or vision of this tank, because I have two tanks. I would kill his tank faster. But Toxic, well, now it's a 5v2. Someone left. The 5v2 happened, so we don't have control of mid. I made a really unreasonable assumption that we could maintain mid vision. I have to give up the Marauder bunker. But I'm still holding this position. It's going to lose me a tank or two. There's no reason to assume that you can have mid vision if you're getting 6v2'd. Here's another thing. You get Marauders, you're in first place, you get 6v2'd. There's no reason that you should think that you can you can defend from a tank, especially in mid. So here's something that happened. Let's see. He gets another tank. That's okay. I have like I have 1300 score. What did I do wrong? We are getting 5v2'd. Let's back up a little bit more. What led to this? I accepted this battle because I wanted to take the chance. Like at this point, it's plausible that this could have worked, but I don't know what's going on over here. I've got a lot of things that I gotta be paying attention to, and it just Toxic has to give up mid. And I really wish he would have kept these units here, but he wasn't able to and didn't. So I keep losing vision of the tank. So I keep losing my target on the tank. So I have to take up or give up this position. Otherwise risk losing more tanks. Now I took a 2v1 without a shield tower. Now I'm super behind in supply. He's able to move forward because they have more supply. And I'm targeting this army. It's hard to... Like, I need that tank dead. For sure. But I also need my tanks not dead. So it's kind of like... I can't decide. I should have just taken out the tank, to be honest. Because in this situation, I give him 1.5k of fake score if I take out the tank. But it's like I want to save my own tanks. So there has to be immediate, like a point, and like a very fine line that I have to go through to decide, like, when are my tanks going to die? Like, how is this going to turn out? I don't know. I could have lost both of the tanks if I didn't take out the army. I could have also lost both of the tanks if I didn't take out the tank. So that conflict before... I mean, it looks like I lost one tank there, and I lost one tank there, but I actually lost two tanks here. Because I lost a tank here because what I did there. I took a more greedy position than I needed to, or than I should have. I can always, like, once again, if I lose the Marauder bunker, it's fine. It's not the worst thing in the world. I can just build a Marine bunker or something else. It worked out. Possibly. I'm still just basically a tank factory. Toxic is gravitating towards mid this time. That's good. He's replacing his shield towers, but he's putting them in the most vulnerable spots, which is going to... It's basically... Like... At this point, our SCVs got to be going from place to place to place. Just put the shield tower where it's going to survive. This is going to keep on going on. Eventually someone's going to... Either we're going to break... Either... They're going to break through or we're going to break through. Toxic asked me if I can commit a tank to Teal. I wasn't comfortable with doing that. I don't think I responded. Because, they keep building tanks and they're double teaming me with superior supply. And my only option is to continue building tanks. Toxic's doing a good job. He's running around looking for money. He keeps asking me for money, though. Like, don't build Reapers. You won't have this problem. That's basically all I have to say about that. Like, I could have sent him the money, but sending him the money compromises my tank production. And he might not have asked me this soon, but at some point he does. Pink's got a tank in mid. It's risky, but it's his only option at this point. I'm not sure who wins this engagement. Toxic's upgrades are on par with a dude with Marauders. Actually, you know what? The Marauders actually have 15 armor. His upgrades are 7, so he has 15 armor. He's not too far behind, but Marauders, just by being better units, he's not going to win any fights with this guy. At this point, like, I probably am not, but there is no pressure coming from my lane right now. I see the tank. I can at least take a forward deterrent sort of position. Light green is kind of dumb. He doesn't allow pink to take me from mid. So I'm going to push out. I'm going to get my supply reduced for that. I have to be very careful. I'm going to back off and besiege these tanks. What time is it? Past my bedtime. Like, at one point I'm gonna have like 4.5k in the bank. This is a good idea. Megavirus builds a shield tower to complement his tank in their double teaming push. I actually remember this moment. I was thinking about how am I going to. I need to pre-split my tanks, right? How do you do that? Because once, like, I have to act very quickly, and I don't want my tanks next to each other. And if they're too close to each other, but I want to split, I want to do this efficiently. I can queue up orders by shift clicking ahead of time. But I thought of a different thing. I'm going to split these tanks out farther than I need them to be. And then as soon as I see this tank, I'll show you how I can tell where it is. Let's see this from my perspective, because I know that he should have a tank still, or possibly has a tank still. He was in mid. I have no reason to assume that I'm not going to assume that the tank is dead. It's a very real threat, and if it's not there, I just got fed again. So I see the tank. There's the tank. Okay, what am I going to do? Toxic's building a bunker here. I have to move my tanks in front of the bunker. What's happening here? It's possible I could tell that there's a shield tower. So I can assume that the tank is here. I see the tank. Bam, bam. I still messed up that split, but I got 3 tanks. My Marauders are body blocking. So his units can't come in and focus down the tank as well as he might want them to. And they all siege at the same time. I got the jump on them. Bam. And then I clean up the rest of the army.
Yeah, well, underscore, that's a bunch of noobs. That's just a pub stomp, and you play with Toxic Panda. He's pretty good, and he just carried you. Like, look at his score all game. You're such a noob.
Okay. All right. You are entitled to that opinion. But we're just going over how we got to this point. Okay, so this is where I lost my tank. I got pretty frustrated about this because it kept getting looped around. Toxic took the blame for it. He's like, shit, I'm sorry, but I don't like, now that I see it now, there probably was no saving that tank. And I thought it was my fault in the first place. It's like this is not the time to play the blame game. We can do that afterwards when we're not playing the game. When you're playing the game, you gotta play the game. But if you wanna be bad at the game and argue with me, I mean, I've already accepted the loss, so I'll argue with you all you want. So at this point, I'm like, okay, can you send me money? I'm like, why? I don't know. What I said something during the match. Light Pink just left. What did Megavirus must have said something, because he just left. Also, and Light Pink also. Oh, he was playing the blame game. See, I was playing zone control, but he was playing the blame game. OJ4 tanks. Teal, can you just GTFO? And Light Pink also. So it's pretty clear anyway whether he left or not. We're pretty good. And then at this point, it's just like, I just need to defend this. Keep an eye on my tanks. I lose another tank to a dive. The only reason this works out is, if we go back, he inherited a bunch of supply. He'll probably be at like 115 supply. Yep, 115 supply, and he gets a dive on it. I wasn't really expecting this so abruptly, so I lose a tank for it. One of the only coordinated assaults we see all game. What happened there? What's he doing? He could have possibly still been putting on the pressure. I want to go too fast here. I'll put it on 2x speed. He's poking around. He's getting shot at. My army is... I'm resupplying. Where did my army go before that? Because at this point we have units. And then we get double teamed. Oh, this is what happened. Green had 17 attack. 16, 18. They had pretty decent upgrades. Lost a bunch of units to the cause. If he would have recognized this, and I didn't... If he would have recognized this, since I didn't throw my turret, it's a pretty bad position. And I'm at 72254. Everyone's at least like 10 down the line, almost. No, not everyone. Some variations of at least 10 attack. So I gotta be really careful. I'm becoming irrelevant here. Another tank push. What do we do about it? We might lose the bunker. Toxic helps me. We deny vision. Here's a cool thing if you don't know about it. So the tank, I tag it with my Marauder so it's slow, and I move it forward. So now it's stuck, and then he has to. He just says, "Okay, I guess he accepts that he's gonna lose the tank." I'm not really paying too close attention. He could have got himself out of this while I wasn't looking, but because my camera was over here, I was microing this, and I was thinking about it at the time, like, okay, he could get out of that, so I got to be quick about this. But he decided to siege instead of like boop boop boop, because the units blocking him were only like a line thick. If you'd like to see what I meant by that, a line thick. Toxic's over here. He split his army up to help me. If he didn't do this, there's a little gap he could have opened up. Probably still would have lost it, but hey, man, you never know where help is coming from. Don't give up. Now he's really like, okay, he has to keep my tank count low. And I keep getting fed. I'm like, okay, I can finally put my tanks in a decent spot. I get another SCV. People just, they're not really coordinating. They're attacking us one at a time so we can defend one at a time. Megavirus is fixated on us. He'd probably be better off killing bottom right way earlier than this, before we got fed. This is the thing. If you rally a bunch of noobs against one team and they defend it, then what can you do? Now I can just, do the thing. 5 tanks are a pretty formidable force. Toxic's still able to defend his side because they're not ever committing. And if I need to back up, I can. Toxic is gravitating towards mid, it looks like. So he can get sick cuts. And if you choose the battle here, the battle isn't over here. And if the battle isn't over here, you can build. So if they allow you to do that, do it. I decide to tank middle. Rods are scary. Doesn't seem like we actually have to do that. I'm just gonna sit back, and at this point I just want to see how many tanks I can build. And I was just like looking around for my tanks at this point. Like, Teal finally fed Toxic enough along with Bendini and Exodial that he could just take out people, and I A-move with my tanks. We say GG. And GG. Alright guys, if you want me to review a specific replay, I'd imagine as I'm analyzing more replays, I'm going to go into less detail, or more detail about more minute details. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying going over replays. So if you wanna supply me with such things, then go for it. But have a good day. Thank you for watching.